this week's review is director Daniel Espinosa's Life, starring Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal. Let's talk a bit about it then. A team of scientists aboard the International Space Station discover a rapidly evolving life form that caused extinction on Mars and now threatens the crew and all life on Earth.
Good night, light, and the red balloon.
What is the primal instinct of any life form?
To survive.
Good night, stars.
We've lost all communication.
Good night, air.
We'll hit the atmosphere in 39 minutes.
We won't survive re-entry.
But it could.
Good night, noises everywhere.
The pros and cons.
Basically, alien on board, kills everyone on board, 2 survivors, one's trying to be the hero and take it out to deep space, and one's going back down to Earth. Now, this is probably the best bit about the film, is they actually chose the right ending to go with. So, 2 endings.
It was brilliant.
2 endings. One, happy ending. The monster, which is called Calvin, by the way, is called bloody Calvin. Calvin Klein.
And no. It's called Calvin because it's named after an elementary school, which was chosen by a pupil.
I don't care. So, happy ending. Calvin and Jake Gyllenhaal's character go out into deep space and they die and starve of oxygen. And the other pod goes back down to Earth with one of the surviving astronauts. Bad ending, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal and the alien end up landing and you're like, oh my god, no! When they open up the door and you find out that it's Jake Gyllenhaal. So they went with the bad ending. And it turns out the surviving astronaut went flying off into space screaming her head off. Jake Gyllenhaal with the alien comes crashing down on Earth and you're like, oh my god, what pod is it? Is it the good pod or the bad pod? And they look for the window, there's Jake Gyllenhaal in all this like alien spooge and just goes, no, don't open it. And of course they open the door and it just ends.
And then they open the door and then you think to yourself, oh, we've just been shown a lone fisherman. And then all of a sudden, there's fishing boats.
Yeah, loads of boats come towards it.
And you kind of think to yourself...
this is the other thing. So Calvin is a living organism. He needs oxygen and that to survive, which is why he wants to get...
Oxygen, and then they, like you said, they kind of revive him in tests.
They revive him by setting up in this lab the Earth's atmosphere, and he becomes, accustomed to the Earth's atmosphere, which is why he needs like oxygen and stuff to live. So he starts draining he gets oxygen from the blood of the crew members and stuff like that. So it goes really, really gory and over the top and mental. So he wants to make his way down to Earth where there's, unlimited access, and he grows bigger and bigger the more he kinds of things. So I said to Tony, that probably what they're going to do is he's going to crash land on Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised we didn't stay to the end credits because there's probably like some hieroglyphs like they were in Kong Skull Island, and then when I see it, just hear Godzilla's roar.
See, as soon as Dale said that to me, I was just like, I'd belly laugh.
If any of you have seen Robot Chicken, DC Special 2, where Starro gets massive in the ocean, that's basically what this thing's going to do.
So basically, I loved the deaths. That was kind of my only thing. I love the deaths. I love Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds.
No, he wasn't. You're going to get the biggest split opinion. Ryan Reynolds was not good. Ryan Reynolds plays the exact don't get me wrong. The guy plays the right characters. Basically, for me,
in the right movie.
But for me, he was just Deadpool, but not as funny and not as cool. He was literally just every other word was a swear word.
Were you just saying that because you're like, I really prefer him as Deadpool, and I really want to see Deadpool too?
When I was watching the film last night, I was hating every minute of it, and then when I got home and when I started thinking about it today, I was like, I'll cut it a bit of slack because it wasn't that bad. And then now I'm thinking about it even more. I'm like, actually, it was quite bad.
Now, you went and had that in your locker. I finished that film, and I got literally out of the cinema. I literally come out the cinema and I went, so Dayle, what are they going to do for the sequel? At that point, Dayle then says, oh,
King Kong.
Do you know what I mean? And I thought to myself, belly laugh, yeah, it could actually possibly go that way because this is the way the MonsterVerse is going.
No, it won't.
So I then was I come away, and then my thought process was kind of like, right, obviously, that discrepancy we talk about at the beginning, like when things were said.
Doesn't matter.
I was looking at loopholes in story. So I then first when I was thinking about it, I was like Dayle was, how can there be an extinction when there wasn't one? And how can the story evolve? How could it evolve? And it only evolved because the alien got out. Now, if they were sensible, obviously they weren't going to be because this is film. Like, the alien got out, and then to me, I was like, I'm kind of just watching Alien. I'm like, right, so they've gone down, they found the alien.
It was like,
and now they're in and then I'm kind of like, hang on a minute. So now they're stranded in space, they're cold and everything like that, and everything's starting to fail.
if it wasn't for Gyllenhaal and Reynolds, it probably would have been a B straight to DVD horror film. It was a Alien rip-off. It was
Gravity and Alien. It was just a rip-off of both, merged into a thing. And then all of a sudden, some film exec sat there in a meeting with a coffee, with a Starbucks, and gone, oh, well.
How did we get it? No, it was like...
It's kind of the same storyline as the villain Venom in thing.
There's nothing about that. Like, that's just someone making up whatever.
No, I can see... But
there's no connection to Venom whatsoever.
There is no...
That was someone making some crap up to make people go watch. I was surprised that I thought it was going to be really quiet, because there's only one showing a night at the moment. I thought the screening was going to be quiet. It was actually really busy, but it was obviously guys taking their girlfriends to...
Would you say that's
movie night on a Wednesday. Yeah. There was some squeamish parts. Well, not squeamish, but like some squirmish parts. I was like, okay, cool.
I mean, like I said to you, like, I like the death scenes in it because I thought, like, I kind of thought.
I think because it was CGI. It was like a CGI kind of like.
I kind of thought with Ryan. Let's talk about Ryan's death, right? Let's start with this, right? So. He's gone and saved a scientist, basically, because the aliens kind of grabbed the guy's hand, and he breaks it. So then the
alien goes like
he starts becoming self-aware.
The alien stops dead, right? Yeah. And the scientist goes in there, tries to wake up. So what does he do? He starts prodding it with an electric stick.
With the smallest cattle prod in the world.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, the alien kind of like comes alive, and it grabs the guy's hand, and it crushes this guy's hand, breaks all his bones in his hand, and then it starts developing a mind of its own, and it gets this broken electric stick, pokes it through his glove, and escapes. And Ryan Reynolds just jumps the gun, tries to grab this scientist, and saves the scientist. But by saving the scientist, they have to lock Ryan Reynolds in this room.
So Ryan gets locked in there, and then I'm kind of thinking to myself, right, now we're going to see what this film's all about. Because in my watching the trailer and in my head, I was thinking the alien is going to give them that kind of mind change. They're going to be like these mind-bending drones.
I thought he was going to turn into the Thing, and he was going to was going to go into Ryan Reynolds and control Ryan Reynolds.
So as the alien went in, I was kind of surprised. I was like, the Thing's literally destroying this man from the inside out, and I was like, oh, it's good. I like it. I like the blood. I love the blood spatter and everything like that. Oh, I like the death. Right, great. And then
terrible. Ryan's
there just hanging, and I think so far he had a big part. Like, if you only had him in this film to try and get, like Dayle said, if they didn't have Jake and Ryan, have you only done this to, get the ratings up a bit?
It wasn't even that good of a death, because like all they wanted to do, basically, it happens more than once in the film as well. They wanted to show how blood floated in no gravity. And one you're seeing Ryan Reynolds, you're seeing Ryan Reynolds just like spit out blood because this alien thing has gone in his mouth, which is a little bit squeamish. And you're like, and he's killing Ryan from the inside out. And you see he just starts coughing up blood, and it's blood flowing everywhere.
Let me put that in context.
But then he's like, it looks like his head explodes. Because they did this really weird cut. You're looking at Ryan from the front, then they cut it from behind. And when you cut it from behind, his head's missing, and there's big splatters of blood around the place. You're like, oh, right, the alien's blown up his head.
His head's and then
the next thing you know, it takes it from the front shot again. You see Ryan Reynolds' face. It's like, well, he hasn't blown up his head. He's just,
you think about that. That's what I was thinking, and I was thinking that's probably a directorial cut there.
It's not.
I reckon someone's watched it and they've gone no, and they've got. Just have it as normal.
They've gone no to that one part, but not no to the whole entire film.
Film world, you should know by now, the film world's completely weird, completely... I mean, we watched this film, and like you said, like, I was picking discrepancies in the story holes, and then I was picking things out with the characters. Like, the only... And I mean, let's take this in... I'll say it differently, actually. The only good death in that film was that one. The other ones where...
There was no good
Birdie
death.
Drowned in the suit.
In cooling fluid.
In coolant, yeah.
Alright, so let's explain the second death. So the Commander-in-Chief, so Ryan Reynolds died. He's floating in the blooming space area.
They wrap him up in
hang on, wait. So the alien gets out. So we've got to say this. So they're in a lockdown lab, and all of a sudden, Ryan Reynolds' character was given like a flamethrower to kind of burn the alien off.
Yeah.
And the flamethrower, 1 minute they're like, oh, you've run out of fuel. You know, Ryan, you've run out of fuel. You're going to die. And they just watch him die. And the other characters didn't react to that. They were just like, oh, okay. And they didn't react. And then the next thing you know, this flamethrower with the flame that's still ignited, by the way, floats near a smoke detector. And all of a sudden, smoke starts going off, and these pods start popping down,
Yeah.
and they're shooting in air vents. So the alien starts crawling to all these little air pockets to try and get out, and they're trying to lock them manually. And it's that tense moment of, will they lock it in, won't they? And you're like, well, you know they're not going to lock it in.
Yeah, because
so one by one they get locked, and then all of a sudden the alien pops out of the last one. So the alien is now free in the ship, and you're just like.
So then obviously
okay, cool.
and then obviously then goes on to they're trying to restore. They tried to contact Earth. They get a partial message to Earth. The communications go down. So now they're having to find out the problem. Now they send someone out on a space
the commander.
The commander.
Yeah.
So then the commander goes out to check the
communications
array. Goes out. She looks over it. She says, "All the coolant's gone. Where is the coolant gone? It's overheated."
She unscrews the coolant thing, and it's like it's overheated. And they're like, "Oh right, cool." And she goes, is Calvin in there? She goes, no, it looks like he's gone. All the cooling fluid's gone. And he's like, oh yeah, like he still needs water and that to survive. So he's obviously drunk all the coolant. And I'm like, okay, cool. So instead of putting the lid back on, we wait. And she's like, I'm going to head back to the ship. And all of a sudden, Calvin jumps out and and he's bigger than he was. And now he's latched onto this commander. And she starts making her way back to the ship. So.
And then that's another plot, the hole in this plot that I didn't get. How the coolant started going into a thing. Did he put pressure on her at a certain point?
Basically,
then it ruptured the point?
The Calvin wraps himself around her leg, and he wants to get into the suit to get her like water in the body and stuff like that. And he breaks one of the valves, and the valve is obviously like coolant fluid in the suit. So the suit starts filling up with coolant, and obviously the commander's got no release to this coolant fluid. So she rushes back to the pod to try and get in. Now the only way to get back into the spaceship is you have to undo it from the outside and the inside. So for about 5 minutes, when she gets there, she's turning it the other way, like the wrong way. And Jake Gyllenhaal's character's going, no, turn it the other way.
Yeah.
And she keeps doing it. He goes, no, the other way. And it takes another character to go, Jake, do you not realise she's doing it on purpose so she doesn't want Calvin to get back in the ship? And they're like, oh, okay. And as you're doing this, she's slowly drowning in all this coolant fluid. Now, what I don't get is she's detached herself from the ship to jump across to get to this door. So she's trying to save her life. And then obviously at some point she's gone, I'm not going to survive this. So she keeps trying to lock it the other way, which I don't understand because you can't open the door anyway. And she holds onto the ship. Then she dies and drowns in the coolant fluid, and Calvin's still attached to the body. The body starts to float away. So what I don't get is why she held onto the ship, because as she floats away, Calvin jumps off and attaches back to the ship. And they go, how else can he get back in?
The thrusters.
Thrusters.
What they do then is then they go onto the story plot, which is how Calvin gets in next. So we're talking about the fourth act. So we get Calvin then gets in through one of the vents after they're trying, because weirdly he's out in space, he's freezing cold, but then he's still got a temperature. So when he goes into this thruster, there's then a temperature difference.
They're trying to burn him up. So
this is the thing I didn't get. That was another story plot I didn't like. Was when he went in, and they were like, "Oh, he's in that one. Burn it off. Oh, he's in that one. Burn it off." The creature's completely cold up there. There's no temperature change in him whatsoever. There's no temperature change in any of the thrusters. They can
tell what thruster he's at because he sees a little temperature change in it. Because the temperature changes.
Oh, I didn't like that.
So they hit the thrusters to try and burn Calvin out, and he survives the first thruster, moves on to the next thruster. Survives that thruster, moves on to the next one. Survives the third one, moves on to the fourth one. And all of a sudden they go, we're running out of fuel and we're coming into orbit, so we're going to crash into Earth if I don't relocate and let Calvin get in. So we go, fine, let's let Calvin get in. So they let Calvin get in.
So then we can get on to the fifth act.
They use the thrusters to get back into the ozone layer so they don't go floating down. And it just goes on from there. Like, we're not going to go too much further because we just go around in circles.
Because it literally is. There's a problem. Calvin's involved. The problem's solved. Calvin's
There's no problem solved.
Not allowed out.
It's just literally like.
Well, solved in the case where someone dies, and then it goes on to, Calvin's back in the ship. Then there's a big build up to the next issue.
Yeah, like every time you see Calvin after a death, he gets magically bigger and evolves another.
He was like a Pokemon
way.
Gone bad.
That's
all it was, really.
And so he just went from death to death to death until there was 2 survivors left. This pod comes up to. Some people think it's a rescue mission. Some people know that it isn't, because there's like Firewall 3, which is basically they push the entire space station out into deep space so that Calvin doesn't get down to Earth. One of the crew members thinks it's a rescue, lets Calvin in there, and Calvin goes mental and all this.
Oh, it goes mad. But like Dayle said, it gets to the end, and then there's 2 possibilities. Now, you've got one possibility where...
The good pod lands on Earth or the bad pod lands on Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
We've already told you what
That's
happens.
it, we just told you that.
So
I mean, character-wise, let's talk about...
Oh no, we're not.
Gyllenhaal was okay.
I think we've given more than enough time to this film because I think it's.
Oh, you're really that deeply.
Are
you deeply?
I'm not like disgusted by it, but I'm just like thinking about it more. There's so many problems with it.
There is so many problems.
It shouldn't have even been a movie film. It shouldn't have even been at the cinema. And I think I'm going to sum it up now. You're free to do the same. I don't think any of the actors went above and beyond anything else. I don't think anything was outstanding with the actors. I don't even think Jake Gyllenhaal's performance was that good. I thought he was really below par. There was nothing special from him. It was what I expected him to do, and nothing sold me. And that's the other thing as well. When the deaths were happening after Ryan Reynolds' death, like none of the crew members gave a crap. They were just like, "Oh no, sad and upsetting." But then when the commander died, they all started shedding tears, and I was like, "All right, whatever." So for me, like. Visually, I thought it was really well. I thought the visual effects were good. I thought Calvin looked awful. I thought he looked clear CGI and it looked really bad. It was just like like I said, a floating stingray. I'll give it props for the ending. I thought they went with the right ending that suited the film. I thought it took way too long to build up into like the horror and the drama because you kind of knew it was coming, and there was all these little bits that you didn't really need in there that kind of wasted time. So for me personally, I think overall. I was going to give it higher, but now after we've talked about it, I'm going to give it less. I think it's like 3 out of 10. I thought it was that bad. It was like I said, if it hadn't had the 2 names to it, it would be a straight to DVD. So,
well, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head with most things. I think that if I had to rank performances in that, obviously, I think Jake would be top in that film alone. Ryan was okay, short but sweet. The film had too many. Holes in its story which I didn't like. Obviously we spoke about the bit at the beginning. Guys, go back to the beginning of this review so you can see our little discussion. It's one of them films where, to me, do you know what it reminded me of? And as soon as the film finished and I got outside, I was just like, yeah, Passengers.
No, because I enjoyed Passengers. I enjoyed Passengers a hell of a lot. I enjoy it a hell of a lot more than this. This was absolute tash.
Passengers for me, 2 big names, weak story.
There was little bits of.
Same with this,
There was bits about it though. Like there was parts of Passengers where I was like, oh, it would be quite cool to be on this amazing futuristic space station and do all of this bits and bobs. Yeah, I'm not saying it was a great film because it wasn't. It was a bad film.
Poor.
But I just thought this was like.
It was poor.
At points I did compare it to Passengers, and I was just like, nah, this is awful.
No, but they're both the same in my eyes. Yeah, they are both.
If someone said to me, you have to watch one of these again, I would watch Passengers again.
Oh, obviously, all right. If we had to do that, then I'd have to be like, yeah, all right, let me watch Passengers.
Right, well, there you go then. There's your answer.
So, yeah, I'd have to do that. But, no, both are on par. If someone said to me after I re-watched both of them, I would be like, no, they're both still poor. They've both still got massive flaws.
What's your score? Let's wrap
My
up.
score's a 2.
Yours is a 2. That's fine.
I mean, I'm not interested in... This film, for me... was kind of like to me it was like a warm-up to Alien Covenant.
There was no warm-up to Alien Covenant. I would have rather paid I would have rather paid the cinema ticket to watch the prequel thing that was on YouTube.
No, but what I mean in a roundabout way is that this film got me thinking, oh yeah, it's like Alien, it's like Gravity.
Let's hope Alien don't F up as much as this.
Oh no, Alien, if you do, and if Ridley Scott, if you're giving it large for no reason, I won't be happy.
Right, okay. I think
we'll go 3.
Yeah, I think 3 is fair because only purely because the ending was the right choice for the film.
The ending
and the visuals of it actually.
How bad is that?
Good.
That the ending made the film?
It didn't make the film. It was just the right choice. If it was the happy clappy ending, I would have been like,
it did.
What?
It did because you kind of everything leading up to that. You were going,
it summed up the film.
It
summed up the film. It was like, but it wasn't as
that's
if it was
the best bit.
It was a nice twist.
In my eyes, I was like, that's the best bit. The music was spot on that last bit. The only thing I didn't like about the last bit was when there was only one boat, and then there was about 5, and I was just like, hang on a minute, just have one of them turn
Actually, there you go. So there's my 3 points: the ending, the visual, like the space station visuals inside, and the sound effects. Some of the score was actually good. So there's my 3 points. So okay,
I'm agreeing with
Life overall is 3 out of 10.
So the Weekend Buzz, guys, 3 out of 10 for Life. So
after that heated discussion, let's
that was
get on to
emotion.
the good part. Let's breathe and let's start giving you guys back some stuff. So let's go over last week's giveaway. So last week's giveaway from Limited Edition Comix, who has also given us a 10% discount code, which is Space 2017.
Yeah.
So last week, Tony, they gave us this amazing manga collection from Ghost in the Shell. All original art. It was absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning.
And to be quite fair, guys, it is absolutely stunning. I mean, let's just look. I've opened as random.
Colour pages are absolutely, like, the art is amazing.
Awesome.
And there's even black and white pages as well. The art, the detail is just incredible.
So, guys, to be quite fair, this was last week's prize.
Yeah.
And this is awesome. I'm going to sad to see it go, but remember, guys, if you want 10% off of this or anything from Limited Edition Comix, all you've got to do is go onto there, buy what you want to buy, go to the coupon or voucher section before you buy, and put in Space 2017, and then you'll get that 10% off. I said Ghost because I'm literally in awe of just that front cover. So this is last week's prize.
Last week's winner was.
Oh.
Have you chosen one?
No, I want you to choose. Remember, I want you to choose.
You want me to choose. So, last week's
winner... This is
winner...
live. We're looking at the moment. Guys, we're looking at the moment. Dale's literally got
last week's winner is Chris Brunel. So, your picture is of Crichton from Red Dwarf. So, I think it's, Red Dwarf.
So, Chris Brunel, if you're listening or you're watching,
if you forget to claim it, I will be giving it.
If you forget to claim this, you need to be shot, sir. So... we'll be in contact, or just make yourself known.
That was it. The question from last week was Scarlett Johansson plays which Marvel
that was my
cinematic
question in
character, and the answer was Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Or if you wanted to be show off your Marvel skills, it was Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow.
Congratulations
Chris
to
Brunel.
Chris
Brunel.
It's because I'm thinking of that film, man. It's got me. It's in my skin.
So congratulations, Chris. Now let's go on to this one. Now this is very I could not believe when Limited Edition gave me this. I was like, how do you top what you gave us last week? And they were like, don't worry, we got you covered. We got something incredibly special. So Limited Edition Comix gave us this amazing comic. It is issue number 1, and not only is it issue number 1, it is of a very exclusive cover. There's only you can only get them in the UK through Limited Edition Comix, so they're very exclusive to the UK. And it is a Venom issue number 1. Now, Tony, bring it close to the camera. Let people see. Look at that. The artwork on that cover is incredible. It is so detailed and it looks amazing.
Bagged and boarded.
This is issue number 1 of the Venom series, and it is an exclusive variant edition from Limited Edition Comix.
And let's chat just quickly. We're going to say life was nothing to do with Venom, but it was a good one because we got a good prize out of it.
Yeah, we got a really good prize out of it.
So yeah,
we got to link it to Venom.
So yeah, exactly. So guys, if you want to win this amazing Venom number 1, the artwork is absolutely sinister, amazing, detailed, stunning. So it's Venom number 1. Dayle. Question. My question. Last week was my question. This week is Dale's question. So to win this, what is the question?
To win Venom issue 1, we're going to put it very simple. You have to give us a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe, or if you're listening online, a big thumbs up on the whatever medium you're listening to. Subscribe to the channel, whether it be on the YouTube or not, and then also put in the comments below and answer this very, very simple question. Ryan Reynolds plays the Merc with a Mouth, aka or also known as who?
Oh,
so that is Ryan Reynolds plays the Merc with a Mouth, aka or also known as who?
Deadpool. Captain Deadpool. No, just Deadpool. Yeah. To you, Mr. Poole. Deadpool.
Thank you very much for watching this week, guys. Go and watch everything. There's loads more stuff on this YouTube page and on this other pages. Please keep up to date with everything. If you want to message us, message us. If you want to win this prize, win this prize. Thank you very much for watching the Weekend Buzz. My name's been Tony.
I've been Dayle.
And thank you very much, and we'll see you all next week.